Moresby North East dispute counting. Scrutineers walk out of Moresby South counting. And Abau scrutineers demand transparency. Good evening and thank you for joining me with tonight's news. Moresby North East candidates have expressed frustration on the delay in counting. Counting for the NCD Regional, Moresby North West and Moresby South are progressing well and heading into the second night of counting. Candidates are aware that Moresby North East is a volatile area and have appealed for the Electoral Commission to speed up the process. Returning Officer Thomas Rango told EMTV News that counting should begin tonight. Northeast candidates have called on the NCD Electoral Commission to begin counting as the other electorates in NCD have already begun.
I'm looking for him. He has to proceed counting. There are two electorates already been proceeding in counting. And how about this? Our electorate must be noticed. We don't want a foul play. There must be a free, fair election has to take place.
The presiding officer who takes in charge of all the polling booths must take responsibility to identify the box with a serial number and they must proceed counting. Not people that outside will bring them in, because how are they going to identify the serial number and so on? So we want to ask the commissioner.
A lot of money to Electoral Commission. This is a very small thing, supposed to be paid earlier on, 1 week early, and the counting has to be resumed as soon as possible. What has been going on, I'm demanding the commissioner, election manager, the RO and ARO to explain why.
To the side of Moresby South and Moresby North West and proceed, please. Moresby North is not, it's not happening, and regional seats are already counted. So what is happening to these officials out there? Payment all that?
It's injustice to the voters. Voters have already played their part. They've cast their vote, and we are ready to go. But as you can see, people are already frustrated. Candidates are already frustrated. It's time-consuming, so.
Amongst the reasons why counting has not started is payments for polling officials who conducted polling for Moresby North East. The polling officials play a vital role in counting. They will be designated officials who can identify the ballot boxes and give the correct details. In the other electorates, counting was disrupted due to polling officials not being present to correctly identify the ballot boxes. But Moresby North East Returning Officer Thomas Rango has assured that counting will begin tonight. Training is currently being conducted for 500 counting officials. Adelaide Sirks, Kari National, MTV News. Moresby South scrutineers want to be closer to the counting table and have walked out from the Kila Secondary School. Returning Officer Michael Are explained to the disgruntled scrutineers that counting must continue. Counting temporarily stopped just after 3 p.m. but is expected to continue as scheduled.
By 3 p.m. this afternoon, counting in the Moresby South electorate was at the 13th. Tai Kone ballot papers totaled 4,941, 4,742 were counted, and 199 were informal papers. Justin Chichenko leads the progressive counting at 2,343. Samson Kirilyo is at 750, while Anna B. Skate is at 596. Counting was temporarily stopped when scrutineers came into the school hall after a 1-hour break, demanding that they be put closer to where the ballot papers were counted. They alleged that the counting process was not properly followed, calling for a recount.
No way. I'm not going to allow recount. If we recount, listen, if we recount, there won't be any change. Whatever is in the box, it was counted. If we recount, we will come up with the same result.
Returning Officer Michael Are explained they can't recount, there isn't enough time, and school has already been delayed for a week to allow for counting. Mr. Are also said counting will continue.
Transparency! Where's the transparency?
Any disputes can be taken to the court after counting has ended.
Actually, we were told to move out, but then talks were going on at a high level, and they gave us a 1 week extension to use this location, meaning that we deprived the rights of the students. The holiday was extended for another week.
Police were at the scene to provide security, while scrutineers and supporters continue to stand outside the school grounds. MTV will provide more details of the counting on its Your Vote 2017 Facebook page going forward tonight. Bethany Harriman, National MTV News.
And news just in, counting in Moresby South will resume at 8 p.m. tonight. Counting will start with or without the 8 scrutineers that walked out at 3 p.m. Counting officials say they can take it up in the Court of Disputed Returns. Progressive results for NCD. NCD Regional after count 28, leading Power Spark Up with 3,131 votes. Michael Candio with 1,593 votes, and third Andy Bauer 1,283 votes, Robert Agen 641, and Jamie Maxingram 455. Moresby Northwest after count 8, Lohia Boy Samuel with 1,515, Miria Ikupu with second 797, Russell Simon Wavik in third with 753, Semikere Moratau 225, and Michael Malabag with 146. Moresby South after count 13, Justin Chichenko is leading with 2,343, Samson Carrillo with 750, and Anna Biscate with 596 in third. National MTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to MTV News. Scrutineers in Abau district in the Central Province are determined to see that laws are followed and the election processes, especially the counting process, is conducted transparently. Abau is expected to begin counting at 8 a.m. on Monday, 10th of July at Kupiano Station.
The scrutineers of the various candidates contesting the Abau open seat have been camping at the Kupiano police station. Their focus is this shipping container that contains the ballot boxes that will be counted on Monday. Scrutineers told MTV that at the counting venue, all bags and mobile phones will be prohibited. Only the returning officer will be allowed to take his mobile phone inside the counting venue. They said counters will not be allowed to have pens in their possession. Scrutineers fear that counters may mark some ballot papers and make them invalid.
We have to watch be carefully on the flipping papers, and also the counting process. We'll have to keep eye on them because we had enough of corruption.
The scrutineers also say they want to see positive changes happen for the district.
Member Blomi promising me law giving me 10, no got 10. Now I'm time law election.
For the last 15 years, we have been suffering so much. As for Amazonian people, we live in the border of central Melbourne. That's why we don't receive government service down up there. That's why we need a leader who can save the people of Abau.
Counting will be done 4 boxes at a time and will only be counted during the day. Scrutineers also say transportation of the ballot boxes from the police station to the council chamber will only be done on an open-back vehicle. Deli Waigeno, National, MTV News.
In Milne Bay Province, counting for the Alatau open seat is expected to begin on Monday, the 10th of July. Counting will be done at the Cameron Secondary School Hall in Alatau Town. A total of 29 ballot boxes will be counted. Counting for the Naue open seat in the Moresby Province commenced today at the Telecom Training College. This is the first electorate to start counting in the province. Counting started off slowly this morning but has progressed well so far, according to Naue Returning Officer Bamun Bange.
Counting has commenced for the Nawai open seat in the Moresby province. Formalities were done at 10 a.m. this morning and the official counting started at 11. Though counting started off slowly, returning officer Bamun Bange said it has been progressing well so far.
We've got 49 more to go. Counting will start all right. The most scrutineers only sit down, only cooperate with them. We'll start the count. For the start, right, smoothly and count so far.
The Nawai electorate consists of 4 LLGs and 53 wards. Counting commenced with ballot boxes from the Labuta Rural LLG. After the first count today, Kennedy Wenge got 311 votes, followed by Roger Wampakau Kesa on 122 and Peter M. Billy on 70. Counting is ongoing at this time as officials hope to complete the 5 boxes from the Labuta Rural LLG tonight. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
Counting for Manu scheduled to begin this afternoon has been further delayed till tomorrow. Manu's election manager sponsor Navi said they are sorting out minor tasks that needs to be sorted out before counting can commence. Mr. Navi didn't verify the setback to the counting in Manus, but he says the counting will begin at 9 a.m. tomorrow in Lorengau. Southern Highlands is gearing up for counting next Monday. Groundwork has begun as counting officials go through final training. There is a strong visible security presence as police and PNG Defence Force personnel arrive from other parts of the Highlands region. According to Electoral Commission officials, all ballot boxes are in town and counting will commence once training for counting officials is completed. To the Hela province and for the Hela regional seat after count 73. PNC candidate Philip Pundialu is leading on 20,931. In second, Dr. Hewali Hamia with 10,172. And third, Francis Potape with 9,141. Taripori Open after exclusion 13, leading James Marape with 29,104. Johnny Phillips with 12,531, and in third, Justin Hayara with 6,756. Koroba Lake Kopiago after count 62. Leading is Bobby Yupi with 6,179. In second is Wa Akope with 5,169. And in third is Matthias Mango with 4,981. Komo Magarima after count 64. Leading is Tony Philip with 9,274. And in second is Manasseh Makiba with 7,181. And in third is Paul Pale with 4,491. You're with National EMTV News, stories making headlines overseas. When we come back, stay with us. Welcome back. Governor General Grand Chief Sebob Dadai and his wife Lady Hannah are back in the country following the Gigi's commissioning by the Queen in London. The pair arrived in the country yesterday to a 21-gun salute from the PNG Defence Force at the Jacksons International Airport. They were received by Speaker of Parliament Theo Zurnock and the Secretary for the Department of Foreign Affairs William Deem. He then inspected a full military guard of honor before being driven away to the Government House. On June 30, Queen Elizabeth II performed an investiture for the Governor-General, during which he was conferred Knight Grand Cross of the Order of St. Michael and St. George. A female flight attendant has been left bloodied after fighting off a violent passenger. The man allegedly attempted to open an exit door during a Delta Airlines flight from Seattle to Beijing.
Beijing-bound passengers found themselves back in Seattle after trouble on board. telling Cairo TV.
And we could see the scuffling going on. One of the flight attendants ran back, and so there was a code 3. There was a serious fight up front.
Just 45 minutes into the flight, one of the 207 passengers on board the Delta jet was walking back and forth to the bathroom in first class and then toward the exit door. Passengers also saying that a flight attendant tried to stop the 23-year-old man and was punched. Passengers stepping in to subdue the man.
They broke 2 bottles of wine on his head. We tried to choke him, and he just threw me off like a rag doll.
Person jumped to 129 with emergencies. We're coming back again.
That man taken into custody. A flight attendant and passenger taken to the hospital with injuries that are not life-threatening. And at about the same time, a Canadian airliner with its own incident and an escort.
You got a set of 2 F-15.
The U.S. F-15s escorting the Cuban-bound jet back to Montreal after a passenger was making threats which have not been revealed. He, too, taken into custody upon landing.
The parents of a terminally ill baby says they have new hope after international pressure forced the London hospital caring for him to take the case back to court. The courts have ruled that Charlie Gard be allowed to die rather than receive the experimental treatment his parents desperately want.
Good hope tonight for baby Charlie, his parents locked in a fierce legal battle to keep their son on life support and alive.
He's our own flesh and blood, and we don't have a say in his life whatsoever.
Hey. 11-month-old Charlie Gard's parents making that emotional plea on British television today. Their son can't move or breathe on his own because of a genetic disease. British doctors and multiple courts agreed treatment would only prolong Charlie's suffering, but his parents aren't ready to give up.
You know, as you can probably see on our T-shirts, if he's still fighting, we're still fighting, and he's still fighting over there.
President Trump, even the Pope lending support to no avail. But tonight, Charlie's doctors are asking for a new hearing after 2 hospitals offered experimental treatment. One of them, New York Presbyterian, which would admit Charlie or send the new medicine to his doctors in London.
We're hopeful and confident that Charlie may get his chance now.
Babies and children are among migrants living rough in forests near Dunkirk in France. President Macron insists the former migrant center won't reopen in the region, but aid workers say with more people arriving every day, something must be done.
Lived in France for all of her 6 weeks of life. She's never been inside a house, never slept in a crib. Her only baths are in the nearby river. Her parents and 2 sisters arrived here in the woods near Dunkirk 4 months ago, after travelling overland from Iraq.
Here they said you don't have a chance for your family staying here. Nothing. It's very difficult for me. I'm just looking in the baby, my children is very, my heart like this.
Because you're doing it for them?
Yeah.
Despite the lack of any showers, toilets or running water, up to 50 young children are thought to be living here with their families, along with hundreds of single young men. At dawn yesterday, police arrived and stripped the makeshift camp of all its tents and shelters. Volunteers say one mother came back to find her few remaining belongings soaked through. The only thing she had left to start a fire was baby clothes. There are more than 300 people living here in these woods, with more arriving every day. The local mayor has described the conditions as inhumane and says the area needs a formal migrant camp. But less than a year after the Calais jungle was closed, the French government is adamant it doesn't want another one. France has struggled for decades to deal with the migrants converging here. Last October, it cleared thousands of people from the jungle camp, and police say yesterday's action in Dunkirk was a routine attempt to prevent new camps springing up. Shawan has already taken his family through 6 different countries, but wants his children to grow up in the UK. Because he speaks English, likes the government, and believes that there they'll be given a home.
We have Chukai Sports after the break. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. To football, National Soccer League defending champions Lay City Dwellers came away with another win over Besta PNG United, while newcomers Buang FC shocked Medang with the only goal of the afternoon and hung on to win 1-0 over second-place Medang.
Lay City Dwellers' prolific striker Raymond Gunamba was on the scoring sheet again, this time against much younger opponents Besta PNG United. Besta put up a decent challenge against a far more experienced Lay City Dwellers, keeping them at bay throughout the first 40 minutes of the game. It was not until the deadlock was broken just minutes to half-time by who else than Raymond Gunamba. Gunamba then scored his second 15 minutes into the second stanza. However, Besta showed resilience throughout the full 90 minutes with constant counter-attacks from their forwards, keeping goalkeeper Ronald Warrison busy the whole afternoon. In the other matches, Buang left everything on the pitch as they held the might of Medang to a 1-0 victory. The Morabians proved they were a force to be reckoned with after bouncing back from their round 8 loss to Huawei PS United. Opportunity came early for Medang in the first quarter of the match when a penalty was taken by veteran player Neil Hans. That opportunity, however, went begging as Hans failed to convert. As the match progresses, Buang surprised Medang with a goal that proved to be the winner, that could see them move up the ladder after this round. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Chukai Sports will continue after the break. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. With only 4 days before Team PNG departs for the Youth Commonwealth Games, Chef de Mission Michael Henao says Team PNG is set and ready to represent the country. Henao says he is looking forward to attending the Youth Commonwealth Games with the young Team PNG to Nassau in the Bahamas.
Held from the 19th to the 23rd of July, PNG will be represented by 8 athletes in the sport of swimming, boxing, athletics, tennis and beach volleyball. It was at one of these games that PNG's youngest boxer, Thaddeus Katua, won gold for PNG in the 60 kg division and 2 bronze medals in tennis by 2 Apisa sisters. Chef de Mission Michael Henao says athletes and officials have been quite busy in the last few months preparing to make sure that Team PNG gets to showcase its talents in the game.
In terms of preparations, we can say that we're confident that each of the individual athletes have been preparing quite well. The Papua New Guinea Commonwealth Games Association, which is our national association for the Commonwealth Games Federation, has been implementing over the course of the last year or so.
Alluding to the success of the last Youth Commonwealth Games in Samoa, Team PNG is expected to double its medal count. PNG-based athletes will meet their overseas-based players in Brisbane before the team travels to the Bahamas via United States. Michael says as the game nears, he is confident the team will do well and that they not only play hard but also enjoy the games.
As I alluded to earlier, for the Commonwealth Youth Games in the Bahamas, there'll be 5 members of the contingent travelling from Papua New Guinea. The rest we will converge overseas and the meeting point is Brisbane.
To rugby, the All Blacks are out to secure a home series against the British and Irish Lions at Eden Park. Here is a preview.
Known as Chaz or Big Grizzly, tonight marks the next step in his career.
Yeah, to play in front of a full house at Eden Park, where I've played a lot of games, will be a good little send-off, I guess.
Assuming Faumuina gets off the bench, he'll make his 50th appearance and last as an All Black. His last match before heading for Toulouse in France.
Mate, I just want to enjoy it with the boys and, yeah, hopefully go out on a good note.
Aaron Cruden's in the same boat, or should that be playing? Cruden plays his last and 50th test as well off the pine before also heading off to Europe. Eden Park, the scene of 2011 success. Cruden started and won a World Cup semi-final after being called up late. There was also disappointment, though, an injury in the cup final.
This series has been about just trying to embrace it and, you know, enjoy all the special moments that you get throughout the series.
If history can provide the current players with some solace, it might come from a then 23-year-old Aucklander who was playing his first series against the Lions in 1993. Craig Dowd suffered a loss in just his second test, then faced the pressure of trying to win the series-deciding third match on Eden Park.
Looking back over my career, that was the one week I'll never ever forget, and probably defined to me what it was all about being an All Black.
Dowd was surrounded by hard-bitten veterans, the Brooks, Fitzpatrick, Jones and Brown. A loss was rare, taking defeat lightly impossible.
There were some older players in the team and they were copping it, and we just had to front up, and we just united as a team, and you know, on that day we ran out. There was no way we were going to lose it.
The All Blacks ran away with the match in the end, 30-13. Dowd knows how the Lions will approach tonight. He played for Warren Gatland at the Wasps Club in England for several years.
Players trust him, and yeah, they've delivered for him, you know, and history shows that. He's won a lot of trophies and done very well with his coaching. Outside a World Cup final or anything else, they don't get any bigger than this.
1993 is part of All Blacks folklore. Both sets of players tonight have a chance to create their own history.
We have the weather details after the break. Stay with us.
Sports. True Kai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And now looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby mostly fine, becoming partly cloudy. Daru mostly sunny. Alatau mostly sunny. Kerema mostly fine, partly cloudy. And Popondetta mostly fine and partly cloudy. In the Mamase region, Ley mostly fine and partly cloudy. Medeng a shower or two. Wewak some thundery showers, and Vanimo a few showers. In the New Guinea Islands, Lorengau cloudy with some rains. Kavieng possible heavy thundery showers. Rabaul and Kokopo cloudy with a shower or two. Kimbe cloudy with some rain, and Buka becoming cloudy with possible showers or two. In the Highlands region, Mount Hagen mostly fall, clearing then cloudy. Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg morning fall, clearing then a shower or two.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Before we go, we now look at a story from overseas. In Australia, technology mogul Elon Musk has signed an historic deal with the state of South Australia to build the world's largest lithium-ion battery.
After months of blackouts and bill shock, a circuit breaker from the south set to change Australia's electricity landscape.
Today, what we're revealing is the world's largest lithium-ion battery.
The South Australian government, working in partnership with US energy giant Tesla and its founder Elon Musk, the tech billionaire and space exploration pioneer, flew in for the announcement.
And how long are you in town for?
I'm not sure. I think at least until tomorrow. I'm not sure what day. It's Friday, right?
At 100 megawatts, the battery system will be 3 times the size and capacity of its nearest rival. Linking to an existing wind farm, it will store energy during peak production and distribute during times of high demand. It's planned to be operational before the start of summer, Tesla promising to deliver within 100 days, or it's free of charge.
This is not like a sort of a short, like a minor foray into the frontier. This is like, you know, going 3 times further than anyone's gone before.
Opening up new possibilities for renewable energy in this state, in this nation, and around the world to be dispatchable.
The relationship between Premier and CEO was hatched over Twitter, following rolling blackouts in South Australia.
This is coal.
Today's announcement in contrast to those in Canberra pushing for new coal exploration.
The writing's on the wall for the long-term future of coal, which is that coal does not have a long-term future.
Before we go, we'll take a look at the progressive results for NCD. NCD Regional after count 28. In first place, Powers Park up with 3,131. Second, Michael Kandio, 1,593. Running third, Andy Bauer with 1,283. Robert Agen, 641. And in fifth, Jamie Maxton Graham, 455. Moresby North West after count 8. Running first, Lohia Boy Samuel with 1,515. Running second, Miria Ikupu with 797. And in third, Rysel Simon Wavik with 753. And fourth place, Mekere Morata with 2,225. And sitting member Michael Malabag with 146. Moresby South after count 13, sitting member Justin Chichenko is leading with 2,343. And second is Samson Carrillo with 750. And Anuskate is third with 596. To the Hela province and for the Hela regional seats after count 73, PNC candidate Philip Undialu is leading on 20,931. Running second, Dr. Hewali Hamia, 10,172. And running third is Francis Potope with 9,141. Taripori Open after exclusion 13. Sitting member is leading James Marper with 29,104. Running second is Johnny Phillip with 12,531. And running third is Justin Hayara with 6,756. Korobole Kopiago after count 62. Leading is Bobby Yopi with 6,179. Running second is Wa Akope with 5,169. And running third is Matthias Manga with 4,981. Komomagarima after count 64. Leading is Tony Phillip with 9,274. Running second is Manase Makiba with 7,181. And running third is Paul Pale with 4,491. That's the way it is this Saturday, the 8th of July 2017. From the news team, I'm Marilyn Diakatam. Good night.